Some wish to stay within the sound of a church or chapel bell. I'd rather run a rescue mission 1 yard from hell. C.T. Studd said that. I wish that I had. It reflects our passion at Miracle Hill. And that may seem like a strange way to start a Christmas message, so I hope you'll bear with me. When the fullness of time had come, Galatians tells us, God sent forth His Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those that are under the law, so that we might receive the adoption as sons. It was really a pretty dark time back then. The government was not just dysfunctional, as some might think our government is today. It was evil, tyrannical, unjust. Some paid an 80% tax rate. There were lashings, crucifixions, genocide. There was widespread poverty, sickness, and death. The average lifespan may have been less than 30 years. There was widespread corruption and hypocrisy among religious leaders. Many Jews had given up looking for a Messiah. It seemed way too late for that. But the widespread despair back then created a deep hunger for God, and the good news of Jesus Christ exploded across the known world. And it seems to work that same way today. The darkest times are often the best times for God's grace to break through into broken lives, and Miracle Hill comforts, helps, and speaks God's love into those who are hurting and most discouraged. We exist so that homeless men, women, and children find food, shelter, compassion, hear the good news of Jesus Christ, and become productive. Can you personally imagine a worse time than to be completely homeless? To have nothing to eat and no safe place to lay your head, to have no food or relative who will take you in. It's in times like this that Jesus demonstrates again and again His transforming power. Let me share with you some of this year's stories. Last year, John, whose wife's alcoholism had ruined them, filed for divorce. His wife, Lydia, spent 6 months in Miracle Hill's Renewal Center starting last fall. In January, she went to the divorce hearing sober, gracious, kind, cooperative. A week after the divorce was final, John called her. "Would you like to talk?" he said. I had the privilege of counseling with them last spring, and last month I had the privilege of remarrying this healthy, God-following couple. Back in 2010, Eli entered Homes for Life, Miracle Hill's boys' home in Spartanburg, as an 18-year-old who was adrift. Since then, he's completed high school. He's now a college sophomore. He's found Christ, and he's now serving part-time as a staff member in the program that gave him a fresh start. We constantly see God at work in this place rightly called Miracle Hill, and I've shared some big stories, but let me share a couple of small stories of God's love expressed in personal, tender ways. Esther discovered she was diabetic while staying with us. Her doctor said if she lost weight and watched her diet, she would be fine. He encouraged her to eat apples, but we didn't have any. Esther prayed one morning that God would send apples, and as she worked in the kitchen that same day after lunch, one of the other clients came running to get her. They were unloading a donation from the fresh market, and there in a big gray container were apples, red ones, green ones, big ones, small ones. Esther experienced a big hug from God. Janet, another guest, came in pretty battered by life. There might be a God, she said, but He doesn't care about me. One day when chicken nuggets were served at lunch, Janet said, "I wish you had ranch dressing." I like that with chicken nuggets. Carrie, your supervisor, said, "Let's pray for some." Janet said, "It won't count. If I get it later, I want it now." But they prayed anyway, and Janet walked into the dining room to eat lunch. Just then, Bob came in the back door with another donation. Carrie picked some packets of ranch dressing out of his arms, took them in, set them in front of Janet, and said, "These are from God." Thank you for making ministry possible here at Miracle Hill through your volunteerism, gifts, and prayers. We daily house more than 425 adults with children in our programs in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Cherokee counties, even more in cold weather because nobody gets turned away when the temperature's below 40 degrees, even if they have to sleep on the floor. Many of you don't know, though, we have a large ministry with children. And on any given day, more than 130 children are staying with us in our 3 children's homes in Pickens, Greenville, and Spartanburg counties, and in the 83 foster families operated by Miracle Hill, That's up from just 45 a few years ago, and we think we'll have 100 next summer. Last year, more than 75% of the children leaving our care went into families. Some by adoption, some into long-term foster care, but many back with their birth families. I hope you have a joyous Christmas, filled with God's peace. Because of you, more than 550 men, women, and children will spend Christmas Day and the holidays indoors, safe, well-fed, and most importantly, with hope.